Okay, I have a list of seeds that you should never start indoors. Some of you are gonna fight me on some of these, but this is what I truly believe should not be started indoors or in a seed cell. It should all be direct sown. And I'm gonna give you my reasons for why. The first one, probably the most obvious, is root vegetables. Carrots, beets, radishes. I mean, that's self-explanatory. I don't know many people that would start any of these in a seed cell, so just don't do that. That one makes sense. The next one is anything that enjoys a cooler soil. So there are plants out there that need warm soil and do best under circumstances with a heat mat. And then there are actually seeds out there that will become incredibly leggy and exert signs of lack of light, like you would see with excess nitrogen. And these are what we call cold climate crops. And if you don't know what soil temp your seeds need to be at for germination, there's an article you can go check out that was published by the University of California. Now, cold climate or cold hardy crops generally fall under this. The exception to what you should start in a cell would be cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. The reason for that is because we don't have a long enough growing season for them. But things like peas, beans, spinaches, arugulas, the bok choys, the Asian greens, that sort of thing, I would direct sow, particularly if you're in a climate that has nice, cool soil. Take advantage of that because that can make sure that your plants don't get overgrown and leggy and are a nice compact size. This is the one that I think people are gonna fight me on, but it is anything that vines. Okay, so I've tried this a million times over. I've tried it with watermelons. I've tried it with giant pumpkins. I've tried it with loofahs, which I'm gonna do a video on how I'm trying to start my loofahs. I just don't know if it's gonna work yet. A headache to start indoors because they need a ton of attention and love. And B, they are like very sensitive. Their roots hate to be disturbed. And I find cucumbers is the one that I absolutely despise doing this with. I find them to be incredibly dramatic, meaning when you do go to put them outside, despite all your efforts to harden these things off properly, they tend to act like the world is ending and they'll go limp, and that in and of itself can stop growth. Bear with me here. If you start it in a cell 2 to 3 weeks before you want to plant it outdoors versus seed starting it when it's time to seed start outdoors. The cell ones that you have to now put outside are going to go through a transplant shock, meaning they're going to stop growth. They're going to stop root growth. They're going to stop leaf growth. They're going to stop everything. And usually for about a week or two, meaning the ones you sow seeds directly in the ground for, they're going to catch up real darn fast to this one that you have in transplant shock mode. So please go for cucumbers and melons and that sort of thing that are best for your climate, that have enough growing degree days for you. And if you're gonna do stuff that is vining and has very sensitive roots, in my opinion, I would go for a container, and that is the container that thing's gonna live in till it's done its entire life cycle. So the loofahs, for example, I'm going to put them in a container that I'm going to sow them and grow them and keep them in the same container. I'm not going to transplant them. I'm not going to touch their roots because they do not like that. Next one is potatoes. I feel like this one is self-explanatory, but I've seen this done. I don't do it. It's not a great idea. You want to start potatoes in the sense that you want to chit them. So chitting is that a verb? I don't know. I have a video on that entire process, but essentially, you know those really long, gangly things that come off of your potatoes? Well, you want to remove those because that is just excess leggy growth that will not produce much potato-wise. And what you actually want to do is chit them in a container that gives them lots of compact, almost, I'll insert photos of what it looks like, but really compact, numerous numbers of those little white root things, the stems kind of sticking out. And that is what you want to put in the ground. But do not start them indoors in a container and then rip them out and put them in the ground. It never works out well. The only one you can do this for is actually sweet potatoes. They do best when they are started in a container inside. Next up is small seeds. So this is more of my own personal preference. Some people are going to not agree with me on this. I find starting lettuce and spinach and arugula and Swiss chard, any sort of leafy green, I find that a make work project to have to start indoors. I don't know if it's because I'm too busy or I just couldn't be bothered, but to me, those are all seeds that can be directly sown in the soil. Now, can you start these indoors? Absolutely. If you start them indoors, no heat whatsoever. Keep them at a nice, cool ambient temperature. The cooler, the better. If you can put them in a basement with a heat light or with just a grow light, you are off to the races. So that is one I will say absolutely 100% you want to watch out for. To me, it doesn't make sense. There's a ton of people out there that this does make sense for. Comment down below if you're the person that thinks this makes sense for you and why. I'd love to know your reasoning behind it, because to me, it feels like a make work project. Next one is zucchini. Okay, so these are like the most prolific plant on the face of the freaking planet. And I see people trying to start these in cells and I just think to myself, why? Why would you want to start the process of trying to consume and use and barter with and get rid of zucchini earlier than what you actually have to? It doesn't make sense to me. Zucchini you can start in a seed cell. They tend to transplant just fine. And this goes for any sort of summer squash. So there's like the patty pan squash, that sort of thing. Anything under the summer squash umbrella, you could start indoors. I just don't see the purpose for it because they are so freaking prolific that just wait. Just save yourself the time and energy. Again, this is another make work for me. Now, on the topic of squashes, winter squashes, they fall into the same category as melons and cucumbers to me. They don't do well with transplants, and in many cases, they have really short growing seasons, so you should be okay. I'm in zone 3, so I mean, check your days because not all of them do well in our environment. Actually, very few. Giant pumpkins, for example, you can't grow those here. It's just not possible. We don't have enough growing degree days, and they also don't transplant well because they have the same root issue that the other ones do. This one may shock you. And it is corn. Now, corn is one of those really weird root system plants. If you look at a corn plant and particularly the interface between the upper biomass, the soil, and kind of where the roots are sticking out, you'll notice that there's this weird kind of structure. It almost is like it cuts off at the roots and it's just plant and then it's root, which is different. That is much different than, say, a tomato plant, for example, where we see the stem and then we see kind of roots coming off the stem and then that transitions. And peppers, you know, they kind of do the same thing. Corn is it's a very blunt transition. It's like upper biomass plant, lower biomass root. And if you transplant these wrong, meaning if you put too much soil kind of on the upper biomass and you don't let the root kind of plant interface do its work for you, the plants tend to do and perform very, very poorly. So this is definitely one that I've tried this. I've actually tried to do this and I knew that was like a very sensitive spot kind of in that plant. And I did put a ton of effort into making sure I was, you know, transplanting properly and keeping the soil where it needs. It didn't work. It didn't work. The plants grew, they just didn't perform very well. So maybe it was just the year, but get seeds, again, that are meant for your climate, the number of growing degree days you have, GDUs. If you're super nerdy, I have videos on that, so go check those out. But that is one that you definitely want to start directly outdoors. And lastly is garlic. So garlic does best spending its time outside, getting cold, doing its job. I've tried to start garlic indoors. I did a video on how to start garlic in the spring. You can do it, don't get me wrong. Things will germinate, things will look hunky-dory. I got garlic off of those plants. I just didn't get great garlic off of those plants. And great garlic comes from the stuff that's planted in the fall. And peas also is another one to plant in the fall, and beans. Those two also do well fall planted, just saying. But that is definitely one that you do not want to start indoors because it'll give you like 1 or 2 or 3 cloves. Brain, it kicked in there. It'll give you 1 or 2 cloves, 3 or 4 cloves, but it won't be a nice big garlic bulb. And that's a lot of work. To me, peeling and dealing with garlic is just, it's too much work for just like 2 or 3 bulbs or cloves, 2 or 3 cloves. But as always, check out the comment section because while I apply theory and science theory to everything, the comment section is usually smarter than I am because in practice, things can be a lot different. Let me know in the comments down below the seeds you would absolutely never in a million years start indoors. I would love to hear what they are and which ones are an absolute must for you to start inside. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.